Hey everyone, it's Kathy.
And Paul here with iDulting.
We're here to help you navigate the crazy world of adulting.
Because let's be real, it's a wild ride. We'll be dropping tips, sharing stories,
And maybe even spilling some embarrassing secrets along the way.
so get comfortable, grab your favorite drink, get ready to laugh, learn, and level up your adulting game. This is iDulting. Don't forget to like, follow, and or subscribe, and share this podcast. Head over to iDulting.com for more information and to submit questions for us about iDulting.
And maybe even pick up some of our new merchandise. And if you know any fellow adults who need some guidance, send them our way.
I just want to let everybody know we've partnered with Dubby Energy Drinks. It's very flavorful, healthy, uncomplicated formula. They have hydration, they have energy drinks, they have some other merch on their website. You can check them out at dubby.gg. And if you enter the code iDulting10 at checkout, you'll get 10% off. Go check it out. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, downloading, clicking on a link, however it is you got here. This is iDulting, where we're going to go over some tips and tricks to help you adjust to the dreaded spring ahead. Dun dun.
You know, that terrible, terrible time when everybody's used to sleeping in and dark mornings to when you lose an hour. It's the worst day of the year.
It is not a good day. At least the older you get, the harder it is, we're finding. However, pretty soon we won't be getting up in the dark and driving home in the dark and just being generally in the dark. Spring's on its way.
I know that this day makes your next couple of months, 6 months or so, amazing, but I hate this day.
I'm not a fan either. Anything that affects my 7 to 9 hours of sleep a day is something that's pretty big on my hit list.
By moving the clocks ahead 1 hour in the spring, we lose 1 hour, which shifts work times and other scheduled events to 1 hour earlier. This pushes most people to have 1 hour earlier bedtime and 1 hour earlier wake-up time.
It can take about a week. Takes me a month to feel better after this adjustment to the new times for sleeping, eating, and activity. Until we've adjusted, people have a hard time falling asleep, staying asleep, and waking up at the right time. I pretty much have those all the time, with the exception of waking up at the right time. This can lead to sleep deprivation and reduction in performance, increasing risk for mistakes, including vehicle crashes, and workers can experience somewhat higher risks both in their health and safety after the time changes.
The reason for these problems is thought to be disruption to your circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythms are daily cycles of numerous hormones and other body functions that prepare us for the expected times for sleeping, eating, and activity. Circadian rhythms have difficulty adjusting to an abrupt 1 hour time change, as do I.
Every time I see that word, I think of those bugs.
Cicadas.
Yeah, I know they're not related, but it makes me think of those bugs. What is our circadian rhythm? There are multiple physical changes that occur in the body at consistent times over each 24-hour day. Nearly all living beings have circadian rhythms, including plants and microorganisms. In humans, these rhythms are controlled by a master clock in the brain. Since I don't have a brain, sometimes I don't have a master clock. These rhythms keep people in sync with their external environment.
Circadian rhythms influence when hormones are released, which in turn influences when we feel tired and awake. For example, when the eyes are exposed to darkness, they produce the hormone melatonin. Melatonin then makes a person feel tired and want to sleep.
Ooh, can I add here?
Sure.
Blue light, public enemy number one. Blue light, as given off by what?
Screens.
Screens. Are you hearing that, young adults? Screens give off blue light. Therefore, it messes up your melatonin. How can we reset our circadian rhythm? We reset our sleep schedule and circadian rhythm through lifestyle changes. Because environmental factors impact these rhythms, circadian rhythms are primarily influenced by our eyes being exposed to light and darkness, but they can also be affected by exercise, eating, and other factors. If you want to shift your circadian rhythms, try these tips.
Gradually adjust your schedule. As you begin to adjust your schedule, start slow. Instead of changing your sleep and awake times by several hours at once, adjust by 1 hour or less each day until you reach your desired schedule. Once you're going to sleep and waking up at the times you'd like, stay consistent every day, even on the weekends and your days off.
What I heard you say is, I do it wrong. I get up ungodly early pretty much every weekday, and then I try to treat myself to some extra sleep on Saturday and Sunday. I'm here to confess, it makes Monday hard.
I get it, but you get up ungodly early, and what are you going to do on a Sunday morning when you got nothing to do for 4 hours?
When spring comes, I got things to do, and the sun will come up way earlier.
Well, you sleep your schedule, and I'll sleep mine. Leave me be.
I'll do that. Jet lag is an example of how drastically changing your daily schedule overnight can bring about negative consequences. When a person travels across several time zones, their circadian rhythm becomes mismatched with the environment they're in. As a result, they may experience symptoms including trouble sleeping, daytime tiredness, digestive issues, and impaired cognitive ability.
Before the information age, the sun was our natural alarm clock, but now we are looking at our screens all the time. A good night's sleep can sometimes be out of reach. Putting your devices away before bedtime can be an effective way to improve one's sleep. By Dustin Kotlier, MD.
Mad respect. He's an MD and he said it, youngins. Put the devices away, turn the TVs off, and count sheep. If you're not sure what that is, Google it. I'm pretty sure there's some Tic Tacs out there on it. We're going to be talking about adjusting. One way to do that is to get outside early in the day. Exposing your eyes to bright light at a specific time can help you strategically adjust your circadian rhythms, including your sleep schedule. If you want to wake up earlier in the day, get light exposure in the morning shortly after you wake up. If you want to stay up later at night, get light exposure in the evening or night once you're starting to feel tired.
Morning sunlight works well to help reset circadian rhythms. Since human circadian rhythms evolved in response to living on a planet with daylight and dark nights, if you don't live in a sunny area or can't easily access the outdoors, you can also use a bright light therapy lamp for light exposure.
I started doing that this year because I get up so early. I want everyone to know I do feel a difference. It helps me feel more alert and awake first thing in the morning. I have what I'll call my happy lamp, and I turn it on in my bathroom while I'm brushing my teeth, while I'm cursing the world for being up so early. That exposure has helped me noticeably feel more alert.
Similarly, eating breakfast immediately upon waking and avoiding late dinners has been found to help shift your circadian rhythm to an earlier time.
If you want to wake up earlier, begin eating earlier. If you want to stay up later, eat later. And as with all circadian rhythm changes, once you're on a schedule you desire, try to keep it consistent and eat meals at about the same time each day.
Limit alcohol and caffeine. Caffeine may potentially help you feel less tired as you adjust your sleep schedule, but it won't help adjust underlying circadian rhythms. Caffeine can disrupt sleep, which may cancel out any benefits it provides. Try to limit the amount of caffeine you consume, especially late in the day.
People sometimes turn to alcohol to help themselves fall asleep. This isn't a good strategy. Alcohol can disrupt sleep and amplify the effect of sleep deprivation. Limit alcohol intake and avoid consuming at least 1 hour before bedtime.
Avoid exercising too late. Exercising close to bedtime may disrupt your sleep and throw off your circadian rhythms, especially if you're a morning person. Exercising regularly promotes healthy sleep. However, if you're trying to wake up and go to bed earlier, consider exercising in the morning. And I am proof of that. When we first started our exercise routine years ago, I would finish my day and get everything done, get the kids in bed and go down and get on the treadmill for half an hour. And I would come up and I was wide awake.
I prefer to do a light morning workout every day. I also don't mind an afternoon workout, but if we get into evening or closer to bed, it's got to be 3-4 hours before bed for me, or it does throw off my sleep routine too. Reduce artificial light exposure and blue light exposure. Since humans evolved to live in synchrony with the daily sunlight schedule, artificial light exposure during outdoor dark hours can disrupt our circadian rhythms. It's both a blessing and a curse. Thank you, Thomas Edison, for inventing the light bulb. Blue light, as those that come off TVs, smartphones, and computers, have been found to most strongly impact circadian rhythms. It's best to practice the healthy sleep habit of avoiding these in the hours before bed. Dimming other indoor lights in the hours before sleep may also be useful. Another thing that I do, my bedroom desk lamp, I turn it to a red light while I'm doing my evening journaling, reduces my exposure, lets my eyes adjust to the dark. My night vision is more acute, so I can see the monsters under the bed or in the closet. I find it very helpful.
So let's talk about what throws off your circadian clock. Anything that impacts circadian rhythms can throw off your master clock and sleep schedule when experienced at the wrong time. These factors include a lack of exposure to sunlight during daylight hours,
Exposure to artificial light, especially blue light during dark hours.
eating meals or snacks off schedule or at inconsistent times,
Going to sleep and waking up at inconsistent times.
exercise or other physical activity too close to bedtime.
Working the night shift. That one throws you for a loop. We both did that, and it inverts your whole 24 hours.
It really does, and it confuses your brain. You get off work at 7 a.m. and your whole life you were eating breakfast in the morning, but it's after work, so do you eat breakfast or dinner?
It was a different time in our lives. We often had a beer with our breakfast.
Traveling across time zones. If you take a flight from the East Coast to the West Coast, time has changed on the clock and your body didn't have enough time to adjust.
That's true. For example, when you fly to Vegas, it's like you save time. On the way home, it's a much longer flight.
And you are asleep at noon when you should be up at 8 a.m.
Yeah, it's very
really
strange.
hard.
Okay, so we've talked about circadian rhythms and how we can adjust them. What does that look like in regarding the dreaded spring ahead day? Coming soon, next weekend, by the way.
So dreaded.
Well, by the time this airs, it's this weekend coming.
So to get you guys prepared, you can do a few of these things. 2 to 3 days ahead of the time change, gradually adjust. Move your bedtime and wake up time by 15 to 20 minutes closer to the new time each day. This also includes shifting your kids' bedtimes and wake up times.
And requires a little math because your clocks actually haven't changed yet.
Adjust routines. Shift meal times earlier or later to match the new schedule, as this acts as a cue for your body's circadian rhythm.
Always maintain your sleep hygiene. I'm a huge proponent of this. Keep a consistent 7 to 9 hours of sleep per day scheduled to avoid the transition in a sleep-deprived state.
Get morning light. Go for a walk or sit near a window within 2 hours of waking up to set your internal clock.
Limit that alcohol and caffeine. Avoid caffeine in the afternoon. Incidentally, caffeine has like a 12-hour half-life in some people. Other people, it's much shorter. But unless you know yours, it's just a good idea to avoid it in the afternoon. Alcohol in the evening does not improve your sleep quality.
Manage light exposure. Minimize screen time, i.e. blue light, 1 hour before bed. If waking too early, use a sleep mask to block the light.
Ease into work. This is after the change. For the Monday after the time change, plan a less demanding day physically. I didn't look up the stats, but I have in the past. And every year, time change correlates directly to ER visits for cardiac-related incidents. So give yourself a little grace. Plan ahead a little bit. Your transition can be a little bit easier this year. And be happy. We're going to have longer days. Everybody likes it when it's 7:30, 8 o'clock at night and you're not tripping in your driveway. In our little shout-out section this time, we want to talk about something we did. We went to a magic show. It was magical.
It was actually really good.
I found, by internet accident, a local place called the Sparta Avenue Stage, located in Sparta, New Jersey. It's a stage that hosts
Magicians.
several times a year. Took a chance, got some affordable tickets. We went and saw a wonderful show in a fairly, would intimate be a word? How would you describe the
Yeah,
theater?
it's small, it's cozy. Maybe 50 people?
Right. And interactive with the magician and the owner. People brought snacks. We didn't know to bring snacks, but there were some snacks available there.
Yeah, you do have the ability to bring snacks and drinks.
Definitely a place we'll be going to again. Again, that's the Sparta Ave stage in Sparta, New Jersey. You can just find it online.
And we want to thank them for giving us a wonderful show and having us have an enjoyable evening.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget, if you need to get in touch with us, iDulting.com. You can email us. You can go through the comments section. Check out our merch at the iDulting.com store. Have a good one.
Just remember, you've got this, iDults. Keep your head up, your spirits high, and keep adulting with us. Go forth and conquer the world, or at least your to-do list.
And don't forget to like, follow, and or subscribe. Tell your friends, share the podcast, and head over to iDulting.com for more information and to connect with us. See you on the next episode. Be safe.